kept silent on in my video formats. I've posted about it quite a bit on Blue Sky, on Facebook. I haven't really done much posting about it on Instagram because I could just take a picture and post it, but I haven't done that. But it is uh about current world events, especially in the United States. Specifically, I am talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Um, I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off. The last I got into talking about politics on this channel was when it was about Colbert being canceled. And I was also talking about Superman at the same time. I'm going to link to that video at the end of this if you want to check it out. I I love Colbert. I watch his monologues every morning and he's getting canceled. He's getting canceled because CB AB and ABC, CBS has to pay out Trump a lot of money, and late night is not making a lot of money, and they're trying to do a merger, and he's the most questionable thing on there because Trump doesn't like him because the news had said some things that weren't entirely correct about Trump, and so they had to pay him out. It was 60 Minutes actually, which aired, well, and it wasn't even anything that they aired about him. I don't fully remember, but because of that, they're canceling Colbert, but they're canceling Colbert at a time that he just signed a contract and they're not going to pay him out, so he's going to fulfill his contract to the end to mid next year before his last show. And now ABC specifically or Disney is doing that to Jimmy Kimmel in a sense. Actually, they're doing worse. Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off the air indefinitely over his comments about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, that's a hot button topic, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I'll get more into that in a second, but it's ridiculous. It is entirely ridiculous. This is for a party like the right, a party that fights for your freedom of speech. They are taking away the freedom of speech because they gave in and gave Trump the win for his defamation lawsuit, which may be quite factual, and because everyone's been giving him a little bit more. You give a mouse an inch, they take a mile, or however the saying goes. I looked it up, and people agree that it's give a mouse an inch, they'll take a mile, but I feel like it's give a man an inch, they'll take a mile. I don't know the actual full saying. Let me know down below. It's fine. You understand what I'm saying. We keep giving him more and more and more. The courts keep allowing him to get away with shit, and he keeps taking more and more to where he's now commenting saying, "You can't say anything bad about me because that's mean and hate speech." Fuck off. So what's going on with Kimmel? Let's get into that. What's going on with Kimmel? Kimmel is being indefinitely suspended and his show is being indefinitely taken off air due to his comments post the Charlie Kirk assassination. What are his comments? Well, I'll read you his comments. His comments are, let's find it here. Uh, he said on his show, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang trying to characterize this kid who assassinated Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it." During his opening monologue, he then continued to say, "In between the finger pointing, the White House flew flag at half step, which got some criticism. I don't agree with it, why they did that. He's a political commentator. He's not a politician. He's not a an army hero. He's none of that. He is just a guy who debates and debates poorly. We got some criticism, which got some criticism on a human level. But on a human level, you can see how the president was taking this, how hard the president was taking this. And then they show a clip of of a little press conference on the White House lawn, and one of the news, one of the people from one of the news sites was like, "I'm sorry to hear about Charlie Kirk. I know you were close friends. How are you taking it?" And he says, "I think very good. But would you look over there at all the trucks? They're starting the construction on the ballroom that they've been wanting to do for 150 years. Now we're doing it." And then Jimmy basically comments on that and says that that's not how you grieve. And he's like, he's at the fourth stage of grief construction, and then says that he's grieving like a child. Would you look at this? Hey, yeah, I'm sad. Would you look at this thing? How he specifically says that's not how adults grieve the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? That's what Kimmel said. And they are up in arms about this. What did he say wrong? What did he say negative? What did he say that's hurtful, that's hateful? He literally said the truth. Yes, he made a joke about Trump, but none of his jokes were negative uh uh towards Charlie Kirk. None of his comments were negative towards Charlie Kirk. But everyone is up in arms about the fact that he said some negative things about the Charlie Kirk assassination. No, he didn't say fucking anything negative about it. He said that the president is kind of acting childish over everything, and he's I don't know what's going on with the president. I don't know what's going on in his brain, but that is not how you respond to a question of how are you doing about the loss of your friend. I think I'm fine. Look at that. No, you take a minute to discuss and mourn your friend. Friend. Who knows? I'm so mad at this. But because he said this, because he made this comment, the Republicans, the right, are up in arms about this hate speech, about this mean stuff he's saying. And because of that, and because of a potential merger, yet again, that affiliates of ABC are trying to have, they are, and a lot of the pushback from the right, they have suspended Kimmel for his bad comments. The freedom of speech allows us to criticize the government. That is what the freedom of speech does. He did not say anything wrong. He did not say anything overly negative. He made a joke. He made a joke about how the president is reacting. And he's saying the president is acting like a child about this. Because the president, honestly, yes. You asked him about the death of his friend, and he said, I'm fine. Look at this. Now, look, that may be a tactic. Maybe he's actually mourning. And his tactic when approached by something is diversion. I don't want to talk about it. It's too painful. I'm fine. Look at that. But that's not how it's. I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it. Can we discuss something else? That is how a sensible person responds to this. Now, look, I'm going to acknowledge something that, again, I have not talked about much: the passing of Charlie Kirk and the assassination. Political violence gets you nowhere. I don't agree with killing, murdering, maiming, hurting anybody over anything. I am not sitting here dancing and cheering that this happened to him. No family deserves, no wife deserves to watch this. No kids deserve to go through this. No attendees at a conference deserve to see this. I personally have not seen the video. I refuse to see the video, and if anybody ever sends me the video, you are cut off. Done. I don't want to see it. That's not something. I don't want to be traumatized by this. If I were more of a political news and political savvy person, and that was my job, I understand why I would have to see it, but I don't want to see this. I refuse to watch it. I saw an image of it by accident, and I shut down for an hour. I don't want to see this. Now, everything about this situation, about the kid that the suspect that they have in custody, it's incredibly fishy. I can go down rabbit holes of potential conspiracy theories. But the facts that we know currently are that he was raised Republican, raised around guns, probably taught gun safety, I'm sure, but he was taught how to handle them, how to properly use them. He was taught that in my opinion, the radical idea that if you don't like somebody, you're a good and you see yourself as a good person and you see them as a bad person. A good person with a gun will stop a bad person. It's a little bit radical, I understand, but that's what it feels like to me. Now, whether or not this kid's affiliation is to the left or to the right, in my opinion, doesn't directly matter. However, he does feel a little bit more centrist. He does maybe feel a little bit more to the right of center, but it raises questions of what's come out, of the text messages to his roommate, and things like that. I don't know. I'm not part of the investigation. I'm not reading too highly onto it, but it is fishy. I don't agree with what he did. For whatever reason he did it, I don't agree. Political violence is unnecessary and gets you fucking nowhere. Don't fucking do it. But this whole thing is creating the anti-cancel culture party, the right, to cancel people over nothing. And say shit like you can't say things negative about me because that's mean and hate speech. But you have been all against hate speech for the last 20 plus years? Every time a public figure got canceled, they were fighting against it. Well, I don't understand. These snowflakes this, these snowflakes that. Everyone's just got to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and just take a joke. Look at what you're fucking doing! You're not. What the fuck? I just look. My feelings on cancel culture is specifically that I don't care. If my friends say that somebody is bad, great. I had to cut for a second, guys. I go on a rant about cancel culture, and my feelings about it, and I don't really know if I represent my feelings about it very well and properly. And I bring up characters and people like Ronnie Radke, Ned Fulmer, and Louis C.K. My thoughts on cancel culture is this, and I've calmed down a little bit, so this is why the tone is a little different, and we're going to jump back into everything shortly after. But my thoughts on cancel culture is this. If somebody does something bad, they're a shit person, they do something very negative, they do something against their their brand or opposite their brand, specifically like Ned Fulmer, he's the family guy and he cheated on his wife, shit like that. If they say bad shit, if they act bad like in a terrible way, like Louis C.K. and Ronnie Radke, like it is okay to hate them, but to force your views upon other people, whether they think it is okay or not to hate them, is besides the point. Louis C.K. is a shit person for what he did. I've never been a fan of his comedy. His comedy has never been the kindest of comedies. Am I going to say, hey, you shouldn't go see Louis C.K. because he did what he did and it was SA allegations? No, I'm not going to say that. If a friend still enjoys the comedy of Louis C.K., they still enjoy the comedy of Louis C.K. It is, as long as they know what he did. If somebody wants to listen to Ned Fulmer's new podcast about how he fucked up his life, that's their choice. I've never been a fan of Ned Fulmer. I like the music that Ronnie Radke's band Falling in Reverse makes. But do I recognize that he is a bad person? Yes. Or not necessarily a bad person, but a shitty person. I don't know the full allegations against him. I don't know the full thing about him, but I do recognize that he is kind of a shitty person. I still like the music, and it sucks to be like, well, this one guy of the rest of the band sucks. Why should I do it? Like, look, I will admit, I personally, and I go into boycotting later on, I have boycotted the Flash movie. because I don't like Ezra Miller. I think Ezra Miller is a shitty person. They don't deserve to represent Barry Allen and the Flash. And I feel like out of everything they could have done, the fact that WB canceled the Batwoman movie that was completely filmed and pretty much in post production, they could have also canceled Flashpoint. It, or they could have recasted Barry Allen and put him. Things have done. They've done this recasting before, and I'm not sitting here saying that Ezra Miller should never work again. I'm not sitting here saying that if you are a fan of Ezra Miller, you are a bad person. I just don't agree with Ezra Miller and what he's representing in this movie. Sorry. What they are representing in this movie is not what they represent in real life. And it is, when it comes to a level of cancel, it is about what you represent and what you show. It is who you are and what you're portraying. If you portray yourself to be the good person and ending up being a shitty person, you're a shitty person and I'm not going to like you. If you don't portray yourself as a good person and you basically are a shitty person and you end up being a shitty person, that doesn't help your case, and that doesn't say that they are okay to do bad things. But it's like it sometimes it doesn't give a pass, but it also doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not saying anybody is passed because they've always been bad and they're allowed to be bad. But what I am saying is, if you represent yourself as good and you end up being bad, that is where my level of personal, all right, I just don't care about this person anymore, comes into play. But I'm never going to talk bad about someone who doesn't cancel someone for themselves. That's how cancel culture is. That's how cancel culture should be. As a worldwide thing, if everyone decides, let's not enjoy this person's content anymore, okay, great. But if somebody decides to continue to enjoy their content, there's look, just let them have their fun. We need some joy in this life. As long as they acknowledge this person did bad. Dr. Disrespect is a shitty person and did shitty things. But if I had a friend who came to me and said, hey, I still watch Dr. Disrespect, I'm like, well, you know what he did, right? Yeah. Alright, as long as you know what he did. As long as you know what you're supporting. I know what I'm supporting. If I were to see Falling in Reverse, I know what I'm supporting. If I were to buy Falling in Reverse merch, I know who I'm supporting. I'm sorry. I like the music. I like the content. But I know I'm doing, and I'll make it up. I'll make it up. I don't know. I hope that I think this sounds better than what I had originally recorded. Now back to what we were talking about. So ever since this Kimmel stuff, now we talked about Colbert and the cancellation, and Supreme Leader Orange Man was like, now that Colbert's done and he sucks, Kimmel, you're next. And this was said months ago. And now, as soon as Kimmel was uh was suspended, he actually tweeted out or truthed out that it's Jimmy and Seth's time next. Jimmy Fallon and Seth. I don't remember his last name, but the other two ones, the other two late night hosts, because they're also bad and they say mean things about me, so they're next because I'm not happy. Fucking grow up. Grow up. He's said, don't say mean things about me, or you're not allowed to say mean things about me. That is my fucking right to criticize you. That is my fucking right to say what I want. Now, yes, if I say something that is derogatory or incredibly racist and negative and wrong and fucked up, am I going to potentially get fired? Sure. Is it potentially going to wrinkle out across all of my life? Possibly. But that's what I said. I said that thing and I have to own up to what I said. But none of these guys have said anything negative to a fact to be like, hey, I'm a huge shitty person for saying, hey, yeah, I mean, he didn't really react to that. He's kind of acting like a child about this. He just pushed things away. Like, I don't really understand what the big deal is with Kimmel. It was a joke. It was a joke. And it was a light joke. It was a silly joke. But we have to push it back against this. Because they are doing it. They are slowly pushing away as many adversaries as they can. In a year, they have cut away 2 people that have openly pushed back against them. Paramount is probably going to end up canceling the the Daily Show because Paramount is also part of Colbert and CBS or whoever, whatever it was, whoever owns Colbert, and they're going to end up trying to get this merger to happen, cancel the Daily Show. I will be shocked to see if any of these current late night hosts are continuing to do a show beyond um Last Week Tonight. And I don't even think Last Week Tonight's going to last more than 2 years. It's ridiculous. There's nothing that says that they need to be let go. And yet we have a Republican fucking personality live saying we should kill homeless people who no one's batting a fucking eye. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Like, I can't anymore. This is fucking stupid. So, I'm just gonna, what do we need to do? Now look, I'm gonna say this, I personally have a feeling that boycotts don't work on national organizations. I'm not saying to not cancel Disney. Do what feels right to you. But I totally understand if you sit here and say, look, I need some joy. I need to watch whatever shit is on Disney. I need my Hulu so I can watch sports. I understand. I understand. I get it. Something like this, a boycott against a national organization, you need so many people to do this. And you have to organize this for a long time. It can't just be for a month. Honestly, in my opinion, even if you cancel right now and they decide to bring Fallon back and he doesn't have to apologize and donate and whatever else he needs to do, if they say you don't have to do that, you're allowed back, I would say you still have to continue to keep your keep away from ABC. Because you need, and Disney, you need to make sure they know that what they did is fucked up and they can't do it again. And I'm not going to give you my money back until I know that what you did was fucked up and you need to never do it again. So going back to them a month after, if they roll it all back, it's not going to work. That's, in my opinion, boycotts are really hard to do and not the easiest thing, and don't entirely work on national organizations. They work on smaller things, they work on smaller groups, they work on smaller companies for sure because they are affected more by monetary loss. But an organization like Disney is likely not going to feel that hit. But I also understand if the only fight you have in you is to cancel Disney, do it. Do it. I'm not telling you not to. Do what feels right to you. I personally, be loud in your opinions. Look up protests. Call your public officials. Post on social media. Call out your fucked up family members. Let them know that this is wrong and they know it. Because they were shouting the same shit 6 years ago about Roseanne Barr, who said racist, fucked up shit. There's a difference between what Roseanne did and what Kimmel did. Roseanne was a racist and said racist shit. Kimmel said the truth and said that for the week and weekend, MAGA was fighting to pull any strings it could to say that this kid was not them. And it's still, even now, even with what we know about his partner, it's still leaning like he may be them. But that doesn't fucking matter because it shouldn't have fucking happened. But his close friend, Donald Trump, reacted in such a poor way when being asked, "How you doing?" that he made a joke about that. Yeah, I'm okay. Look at this thing I got. He needs to learn how to regulate. He needs to learn how to regulate, and he needs to learn how to how to say like, "Hey, I don't want to talk about that. It's too hard right now." Shit sucks. I'm so mad. I'm so mad about fucking everything. So mad about the fucking cancellation of Kimmel, cancellation of Colbert. I'm mad about who's gonna be fucking next. It's a stupid bullshit that doesn't need to fucking happen. And political violence also doesn't need to fucking happen. It needs to stop. People are fucking stupid. Doing shit like this is stupid. Don't do it. Look, it's going to be a hard another 3 years. It's going to be incredibly hard. I understand. And I'm probably going to be on here shouting to the ether about shit like this every couple of months for the next 3 years. And if you want to hear more of my political points, just let me know. I'll talk about it occasionally. I tend to keep this to myself. I used to have an outlet for it. I don't. So it kind of just stays in, and I get mad about it. But I don't want to associate anything that I do specifically with politics. But I am attached to this stuff. I am watching this stuff because it affects everyone. Not just me, not just the people I love. This affects everyone. And when somebody turns around and tells me, well, just ignore it. How do you fucking ignore shit like this? How? I can't. Look at all this bad shit that's happening. I was at a doctor's appointment and I've been going through a lot. I've been very burnt out and exhausted and tired and depressed. And I've been telling him, I'm like, look, there's too much going on. There's so much shit going on. I'm incredibly depressed and burnt out. And this is just my family doctor. And he's like, well, what's going on? What is it? And I'm like, life is just hitting me hard. There's so much going on all politically and everything. It's like, yeah. And his response was, everything you can't do anything about. I love my doctor. I love him to death. He's a great doctor. He's been a family doctor for everyone in my family. I like going to the same doctor as the rest of my family because then they have my family history. But I was not happy to hear that. Because, yeah, maybe stuff that I don't really have any control over, but there is stuff that still affects me. And he may not be a very political guy. Or maybe our political leanings are opposite of each other. Who knows? I'm not going to get into that about my doctor because I like my doctor. He's a smart man and he knows how to talk to me and we have a rapport and I really like him. I'm not going to get into that shit. But that just kind of sucked. Because look, I am dealing with depression and anxiety and everything else. And I've brought this up to him 2 or 3 times, and he's like, "Yeah, we gotta find somebody for that." And he doesn't really recommend anybody or anything, but it's out of his wheelhouse, and I totally understand. But it's just it sucks. Like it's stuff you can't, it's stuff you've got no control over. It doesn't mean it shouldn't piss me off. It doesn't mean it shouldn't make me angry. Get angry, everyone. Get angry. Be loud. Be annoying. Make it so everyone fucking knows that this shit pisses you off. Because what they're doing is fucking wrong. Don't even get me started on fucking RFK Jr. and his fucking bullshit with the Health Association. Don't get me started with fucking the head of the FBI and his stupid bullshit. And don't get me started about the fucking Epstein files. Because all this shit just needs to be fucking brought out. If there's nothing wrong, then stop classifying, stop blacking out names, and just give us the fucking information. Okay? If there's nothing we have to worry about, the names shouldn't be redacted. Don't redact shit because this isn't sensitive information. I've seen the meme 100 times. The cancellation of Kimmel, man, what's in those Epstein files must really be big. And it really is. And look, I didn't come into this expecting to go from the death of Charlie Kirk to fucking Epstein. But that's what happened, and that's where we went, and that's how it went. And it's so frustrating. It's all of this stupid bullshit is frustrating. I just don't fucking understand. I have MAGA family members. I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me. I'll say hi. I'll be civil, but I don't talk to them. I don't have conversations with them. My two aunts, I don't talk to you. And that's fine. I have other MAGA family members, I'm sure. I don't really associate or talk with them. Because what they voted for was hate. And we've seen that over the last 8 months. And it's just fucking shitty and it's fucking terrible. And I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm just gonna shout into the ether to you guys every once in a while when I really fucking need to. So that's it. I wanted to release this as a special bonus episode a couple of weeks ago. I didn't. I just decided to go off about it right now. I'm actually going to edit this right now and re-listen to myself and see if there's anything I don't like that I had in it. I'll probably end up cutting this. I'm not sure, but that's going to be it, everyone. Thank you so much. I know this was a heavy one. This was a hard one. Next week is very lighthearted. Next week is all about Critical Role. I already recorded it. I'm wearing the same shirt next week as I am this week. So it'll be a good one. But I felt like this is a little bit more timely. I wanted to release the Critical Role one now, but this is more timely and more important, and it's just been on my mind, and I wanted to share it. And I wanted to get my thoughts and feelings out there. Thank you guys. Sorry, I am going to put a politics warning on as the thumbnail, so I understand if people don't want to watch this one. I get it. Politics aren't for everyone. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check me out on Twitch. Check me out live here on YouTube. Be careful, be safe. Don't do anything I would do. Always have your